Hey, pop the trunk, I open up, I sold my soul a good price, out of sight, my whole got.
What is up, you guys? So I'm back with another video. As you guys can see, I'm doing things that I wish I knew before coming to ODU. So I thought this was a good idea just to film because we are going into the month of April and college decisions, or like acceptance day, or what is it called? It's on May 1st. I know that. That's when all the seniors have to finally, like, this is the school I'm going to for my freshman year. So I thought this was a perfect idea to like kind of show some of the incoming freshmen or kids who are still looking or deciding if they still want to go to ODU or if they want to go to another school, what it is really like going to ODU. So not all of these are my opinions. I did ask some girls, and I think like 2 boys or 3 boys off Instagram, what are some things they wish they knew before coming to ODU. So when I'm saying something, their name will appear somewhere on the bottom of the screen. I'm not sure if it's right here or right here, but somewhere on the bottom of the screen. So let me stop talking and let's get into this video. So the first thing, some of this is kind of juicy. I'm not even about to hold you. So the first thing. We already starting off juicy with tea. I wish I knew that the white frats won't let you into parties because you're black. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you my fall semester how many parties I could not go to because you're black. Like, all the white frats were like, oh no, like, we're not allowing no more black people in. Like, it was just like, what? Like, I know this is a PWI and all, but there are a lot of black kids at this school. Like, we may not be no HBCU, but there is a lot of black kids at ODU. So I was a little confused about that, but it was all good because those parties were low-key dry. Not even about to hold you. All they wanted to do was drink beer. Beer is nasty. Second thing, Broderick food is terrible. Yes, oh my god. So if you guys do not know, Broderick is the main dining hall. There are 2 other dining halls on campus. There's one at Whitehurst and there's one in Rogers. Broderick is the main one, and Broderick's is like in the quad. Broderick's food is nasty. Let me tell you, that food is so disgusting. It looks good, and I mean, they do have some pieces, like some things that are good, but overall as a whole, it's nasty. They have this beautiful cafeteria, and it's disgusting. So, heads up. I definitely do think Rogers is better. I haven't been to Whitehurst, but some people do say Whitehurst's bust. Like, people say Whitehurst slaps over all the dining halls, but Whitehurst is a little further down. Okay, yeah. All the good parties happen on Killam. So Killam is like the back side of ODU, and Killam is like the side that you're getting in to go that's no longer on ODU's campus, but there still are parties back there because there's still kids who go to ODU and they may rent houses or apartments back there, like through ODU rent. So majority of the good parties happen on Killam. Like, it's fun. Now, Killam is low-key dangerous to me personally. I've been on Killam and they start shooting at parties and all that. But I feel like that's kind of everywhere. I'm not really sure. But when I do talk to some people, they're like, yeah, that kind of happens. So be careful, but all the parties are at Killam. This girl is hitting it on the nail, like, boom, like she got it. Her name's at the bottom of the screen, so if you guys want to follow her or whatever. But homecoming is terrible. Go to Hamptons or NSU instead. Yeah, homecoming was dry. Like, homecoming is bad. Our football team was bad this year. I do know they like to hold the coach, but I'm not sure how the football team is going to be next year, even if they're in season because of this whole virus. But personally, I do think homecoming was dry. Like, it wasn't the hyped up one. But we do have HBCUs around us. Hampton is 30 minutes and NSU is about 10 to 15 minutes away. So if you can go to those homecomings, like, you will probably have, like, not even probably, you will have fun. And this was one thing that shocked me, and this is her last one. Majority of the NPHC Greeks are suspended. Yes. So at the Web, which is like the main student center there, they have flags of all the Greeks that are there. Yeah, aka Delta, all that. None of that's there. None of that. So don't think you're about to come pledge aka or Delta or anything else. Like, they're suspended. I don't know how long they're suspended or if they're like suspended indefinitely. Like, I'm really not sure, but I do know in the 4 years at ODU that I would be attending here, or if I do attend here, they're not going to be there. So if you're coming for some Greeks, do not come here for Greeks. So that was that one person. The second person we're going to go to, I'm going to put her name also at the bottom of the screen. Hers is good too. Do not try to pull up to parties fashionably late, because by the time you get there, the party will be over. Yes, don't sit right here and be like, let me show y'all what I would do. Before I came to college, if a party started at 7, I was pulling up at like 9, maybe 9:30, sometimes 10. No, that's not gonna work at ODU. ODU police shut down every single party. That you gotta be there before it starts and when it starts to really have fun and turn up. And once you're at one party, you most likely are hopping from party to party until all the parties in the area get shut down. Because parties do get shut down really, really fast by ODU police. So don't think you can show up late and no, the party's gonna be shut down. Or if the party's not shut down, they're gonna be at their max. Like, a lot of houses have their max. So, or they're like 3 girls with 1 boy, or whatever the case may be. So be careful of that, because you will get all dressed up for nothing. Like, nothing. So typically I would just leave like 15-20 minutes early, walk to the party with my friends or with people I knew, and just kick it in and just move around and hop around like from block to block or different parts of campus. Another thing, yes, it is okay to ask for help with anything you may need. Yes, I feel like a lot of people get that, like, I think from high school, a lot of people tell you like, oh, no one's going to help you in college. That's not the case. I personally feel like anything you need help with at ODU, anyone's going to help you with. It's honestly about you speaking up. Like, closed mouths do not get fed. So speak up if you want something, and that's the end of that. Third thing, she said was Whitehurst has the smallest dorm with the smallest closet space. Oh my god, I cannot tell you how many times I heard that. Like, I was about to go to Whitehurst. For y'all who don't know, I stayed in Rogers my first semester. So go check out my room tour if you guys have not seen it already. Link will be somewhere in one of these corners. Or link down below. Well, go check out that. But Whitehurst is really, really small. Like, Whitehurst does sit on the water and they may have the beautiful sunsets. But 1, you're far from everything. 2, there is like no like actually dividing the closet. This is like you and your roommate have to kind of come in an agreement, and it is really, really small. So I think that's one of the smallest rooms on campus, like that section in particular. And the last thing this girl said is to not be afraid to put yourself out there in a positive light. Yes, ODU is a big campus and there are a lot of people here, and some classes are small, but there are some big classes, and just in general, like activity hours stuff, there are a lot of people. So you really just have to like reach out and just start talking to people and just be like, hey, what's up? This is something that I wish I did more my first year, but hey, you live, you learn. But yes, and for y'all who are like, oh, why aren't you saying your names? I asked them about if I could put their @names, so that's what I'm doing. And I don't want to put their full name out there just in case they weren't comfortable with that. So yeah. So the third girl I asked, I'm sorry, I'm getting these numbers mixed up. She said, I would say that I wish I knew what Gresham looked like on the inside because they don't show as many pics of the rooms, LOL. Yes, so Gresham, for y'all who don't know, Rogers and Gresham are not in the quad. So I stayed in Rogers. Personally, I think Rogers was the best because Rogers was more like laid back, chill, you can get away with more stuff. And we had the cafe, the late night cafe, so I think Rogers was the best. But Rogers is right here and Gresham is like across the street, like literally across the street. Yeah, honestly, the joke was that like Gresham was the ghetto compared to Rogers. So I don't know. I personally do feel like Rogers was better. I'm not talking about being biased, but I just feel like Rogers was better, period. I've seen so many kids from Gresham coming over to Rogers for the dining hall, for like the little rooms down that we had, like the common areas that we had and stuff like that. Honestly, I feel like Gresham was still lit though. I'm not about to hold y'all. Gresham was still lit. There was still a lot of lit people in Gresham. But yeah, I mean, I do see what she's saying because they don't really show y'all a lot. So anybody who is coming to ODU and you do vlog or you do YouTube, try to film the dorm so people can see and they can get a heads up too. Oh, this is a main one. I also wish I knew that we don't need to buy most of the textbooks that they say are quote-unquote required because we don't really use them. Yes, y'all. College, save your money. People will say you need a textbook. You don't need a textbook. First week of class, do not buy any textbooks. Second week of class, don't buy any textbooks. You have a week or two to add and drop classes. By then, you should be able to get the feel of if you need a textbook, if you don't need a textbook. And in between the time, the teacher will be still assigning homework and readings, or whatever your teacher decides to do. They still will be assigning readings or anything that's to do with the textbook, so you can get the general gist of if you would need the textbook for that course. Just because it's on the syllabus does not mean you need it. Also, look at the syllabus. I know sometimes like the syllabus has like dates and everything of when assignments are due or what you have to do that night or whatever the case may be. You are able to see on that syllabus if there's homework required in that book. Like, for example, my English class, I don't use that book. I bought that book for no reason. But I do know one of my friends, he's in a English. He's in a science class, and he does need the book for the science class because he has to fill out questions at the end of the chapter, and they're like discussion questions at the end of the chapter. So that's a little bit different, but you'll be able to. And the last person, I guess, was that they wish they knew how to study better for like better techniques. I really don't know how to relate to this one personally. I didn't really I didn't have any difficulties with studying for any of my classes, but I'm not sure if that's just because of the high school I came from or just how the class was structured. Every class is structured different, no matter if it's the same subject. Every teacher structures their class differently. So I really don't know what to say about that. But yeah, so that is everybody, like, what they wish they knew. Now I'm going to do mine personally, just to throw in my own little 2 cents in it too. My first one will be, there's not much around here. It's pretty much just warehouses and nothing. So pretty much what I'm getting at is you need a car down here. So I know freshmen are not really supposed to have their car their first year of their first year of college, but you can apply to have a car. Honestly, I just applied and said you really just type a reason on why you need your car, whether it's medical, whether you have a job, whether it's a family reason, whether it don't really matter. Honestly, most likely you will get approved to have your car on campus. I cannot tell you how much I was grateful to have my car my first year. Like, it just, I don't know, I was like happy about it. Personally, having my car. So there really is not much around here, so don't think, oh, like you're in this big city. Yeah, no. So I'm from like the DMV area, so I'm used to just getting on the metro, hopping around, or calling an Uber, or walking here, doing this, doing that. Yeah, that's not going to happen down here. There's not, personally to me, there's not a lot down here. Second, the mall is trash. Trash. Like I said, I come from the DMV, so there's a lot of malls. There's Tyson's, there's Pentagon, there's a whole bunch of outlets and everything. Yeah, none of that's down here. None of that. So personally, I already thrifted before I came my first year, but I honestly just started thrifting more just because, like, honestly. And I'm not saying, oh, you need to go buy clothes all the time or go buy this, but I mean, there are times where you're like, dang, I want to go buy something. Yeah. So yeah, another thing I would say I wish I knew before I came to ODU would be also, y'all, there is nothing to eat at ODU's campus. There's only Cane's, The Den, they just added Panera, Chick-Fil-A, Qdoba. Okay, let me rephrase that. The food here is nasty. I don't like Cane's. Cane's has no seasoning, so Cane's out the picture. Panera is good, so I think Panera is on the good side. The Den, I would eat there during my fall semester, but I don't eat the Den no more because it's really not that good. The Den is a waste of your money. The Chick-Fil-A on campus, it was a Chick-Fil-A Express. It's disgusting. I always got sick. They have Qdoba and Steak and Shake. They just added that before the shutdown happened. Like, I mean to tell you, like, right a week before spring break started, which was like 2 weeks before our school shut down, they added that. I personally have not had it, so I'm not sure if it's really good. But yeah, there's really not that much to eat in this area. And if you're used to eating like diverse food and all of that, you're not going to get that in this area. Or if you're a picky eater, yeah, you're also not going to get that. Yeah, I don't think there's any like little vegan spots or anything like that down here, so that's another kind of like salad place down here. I'm really big into that. Like another thing, I think this ties back to Osagal. It is a very slow moving town, so if you're okay with that, like that slow pace, I think you'll be fine. I'm not okay with that. I don't really like the slow pace. It kind of gets dry at times. Also, I do not like the advisors here at ODU. I definitely feel like they can do better for as much money as I'm paying to come to this school. I am an out-of-state student, so I am paying a lot of money to come here. And I do not feel like the advisors are very, very helpful like they should be. You kind of like ask them questions and they like kind of dismiss it, or like don't really fully answer the question, or they don't really make sense, or I just kind of feel like, but maybe that's because this is a big school. I don't really know. But I mean, I have talked about this too with other people who do go to ODU. And we're all kind of the same, that we do feel like the advisors could be better and kind of care a little bit more than not caring. Another thing I wish I knew about ODU was everyone hyped it up in high school that, oh, professors are so mean, they're so this, they're so that. Yeah, no, they're honestly so cool, so laid back. They're just like go with the flow. They get that we're grown. They get that everyone's in different situations and everyone's at a different point in their life. So I really, really do like that. Another thing that I wish I knew before coming here was, honestly, personally, I feel like this is high school. I'm gonna keep it straight with y'all. There's so many kids who they graduate high school and they come here together. So personally, being a kid from out of state, or being a kid who came here like kind of by themselves and not knowing anybody, I definitely do feel like even though I was cool with them and still make friends with them, they were still cliquish. Like they still had their own little clique. And that's okay, that's fine. But I do feel like that was a lot of people here, like at least a lot of the freshmen. A lot of freshmen came here with their high school best friends, came here with their graduating class. So for example, like let's say this high school right here graduated in 2019 and 30 of them came to ODU, or 40 of them came to ODU. Most likely they're all sticking together, which is fine, but at the same time it makes it harder for other kids who didn't come here with anybody to make friends. And I do know there were some out-of-state people who made friends and still, but there were still cliques at the end of the day. Like, it's very cliquish just because everybody is coming from their high school, and this is a, like, state school. So, because this is an in-state school and it is very cheap for Virginia kids to come to stay in state and go to Virginia, then, yeah. That was just like one of my like dilemmas. Another thing I wish I knew was off-campus housing. There's not that many places off-campus housing, and I personally do feel like you really only can stay on campus for your freshman year. The Village is not considered on campus, although it is still by ODU. I think the only place they have on campus after your freshman year is Powhatan, which supposedly is not that good. And what else? Powhatan. It's one other place. It's one other place. I can't even think right now, but there is one other place. Other than that, you do have to pretty much live off campus, most likely. With that being said, because there's not a lot of things around here, and there are still other families that live in this area that surround the campus, if that makes sense, it's not really that many places to live. So most likely everybody lives in the next, which is where I stay. or everyone lives like with ODU rent. But even then, I do feel like there's not that many places with ODU rent that is worth paying, like paying the money that they're saying and stuff like that. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to tell you guys that I wish I knew about ODU before coming here is the clubs are not real clubs. I mean, there are some, like this little dance team that performs doing activity hours, they're real, but there are so many that are not real. Like, no one really cares, or they pick their best friends. So like when you sign up for a club or whatever, you can run for different positions, or some things you have to like kind of audition for to get into. They really only pick their best friends or stuff like that. So that was definitely like this is kind of whack, like type of thing. And with the clubs, what I mean like they're not real clubs is like it's just unorganized, it's dysfunctional, like don't nobody ever know what's going on. There are, now I'm not saying that's for all of ODU clubs, there are some that are organized and you know really do try to include people into it, but there are some that you're like, why is this a club? Like y'all are wasting my time type of thing. So yeah, so I know I said the last thing was going to be the last thing, but this is honestly the last reason. So let me tell y'all something. If you are not on work study or on some type of scholarship plan, you cannot, well, I'm not gonna say you cannot, but there are certain jobs that you cannot do, which I understand, but at the same time I do feel like there's certain jobs that I should be able to do even though I'm not on work study. Like the jobs that I don't have the scholarship for, there are jobs that are available if you're not on work study, but you work like a slave, a little Hebrew slave, like a slave. And minimum wage in Virginia is not that high, so you're really working for coins, like pennies type of stuff. And I know people are like, oh, you're in college, like any money is some money, but at the same time you're still in college, you still have a social life, you still have to do school, and then you have to like, you know, like do a little random little stuff that may come up that you may not expect or whatever. So for example, I'm gonna give you guys an example. I wanted to work with ODU's media team. However, because I'm into film, I'm into like photography, into all of that, I like sports. However, I could not be a part of ODU's like photography, like media team or whatever for their sports and everything, because I'm not on I'm not in work study, and two, I do not qualify for the scholarship, which I honestly think is so dumb. Like, what do y'all mean? Like, we're all college students, we're all trying to work, like we all need some type of money, which is it's just so dumb to me. And there are some jobs that you can do, but for example, like I could have done the football team, but I wasn't here before they started. Like I got here after football season has already started and stuff like that, just so when freshmen come in, and that's something that you need to already have planned out before coming into ODU as a freshman and stuff like that, which is fine. But for fall semester to spring semester, I can't work with the media team because I'm not on work study and I do not have this scholarship. Now, there are jobs I can do, but I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so picky, I'm so this, I'm so that, but I'm not trying to work like a slave. So the only jobs I really could do would be food. Like, that's it. And all the food places at ODU are popular, so there's always packed, you're always on a rush, you gotta like pretty much move fast. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not even about to hold y'all. I was not trying to do all that to make a penny, like make a few bucks, like, because when you really look at it, you're only getting paid $7 or like 7 something an hour, and then you're not really working full time, you're working part time. My paycheck plus taxes being taken out is not going to be anything. So at the end of the day, I really had to weigh my pros and cons, like my grades or money. And at the end of the day, I had to pick my grades because my grades needed to remain good. So I picked my grades and maintained my GPA, and that's just kind of what I told my family, like, I won't get a job, but I'll maintain. So yeah, I think that is all for this video. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Adios.